It feels like a nightmare that I can't wake up from. It doesn't feel real. You don't know what it's like to get up every day and know your sister did something like that. I'm classified as Louise Turpin's sister. I no longer have a name. That's how I feel. But you don't know me.
A house of horrors. That's how some people are describing conditions inside the Turpin residence.
I am angry, and I feel sorry for the kids. So much could have been prevented if I would have spoke out a long time ago. I just didn't understand the signs. You wouldn't believe that somebody could actually do something that evil. And it's just time for me to tell my side of the story. This is my dad, my mom, Louise, and me. I was the middle child of two sisters. They made sure that we were in church every Sunday and raised us up knowing the Lord and Christian beliefs. We looked picture perfect, but a lot of stuff happened in this house, so it brings back a lot of memories. My dad was always good to my mom. He never laid a hand on her, but there was a lot of arguing.
I'm trying to juggle too many things. Can't you see that?
How hard is it to keep a damn house clean? I'm working.
When my parents fought, I was scared.
What else do you want from me?
How about dinner on the damn table when I get home?
I would just start crying, and Louise would come and cover my ears and eyes to keep me from seeing and hearing it.
Who is the one taking care of the girls, making sure they get to school, making sure they're doing their homework? What else do you
Many
want
nights,
from
she
me?
would hold my hand all night for me to sleep. When she was holding my hand, I knew as a child that I was safe with her. She was my best friend, and she was the only one there for me. But something happened. Everything changed. By the time my sister got arrested, the look in her eyes and the expressions on her face were scary, evil looking. What went wrong? How did she become this person? So these pictures make me cringe. These are my grandparents, my mother's parents. Mama and Papa. That's what we called them. He's smiling here like he really adores us. But we knew the truth. When I was a kid, I begged for a big wheel. And so we had a birthday party at my home.
Happy birthday!
My grandmother and grandfather brought this big package in,
We've got one more special present for you.
What is it?
and it was my big wheel.
Grandpa, this is exactly what I wanted.
I was very excited, and I thought it was going to be one of the best days of my life, but it ended up turning into a nightmare. Papa never let me forget that was my big wheel, and it was from him. And later on that day, there was a price to pay. He took me in a back room.
Do you like your birthday present? Come. Sit on my lap.
And then we would sit in the chair, lights would go off. He would pull me on his lap.
Don't worry.
He would put his hands in my pants or up my shirt. And I would always feel him breathing on me. When I started to make noise, I remember him putting his hand over my mouth, and he would whisper in my ear, "This means I love you." And then he would tell me, "Don't tell nobody." I remember telling Louise. Louise told me that she had been molested all her life by him. She just became so protective.
Elizabeth, I'd like you to come with me for a bit.
And there would be times that Papa would walk towards me and she'd put me behind her. And she would tell Papa, "I'll go with you." And I started realizing she's taking the molestation from me. She was sacrificing her own self for me. And I've thought about that and thought about that and thought about that. I never told anybody. He never was charged with child molestation, and he died last year at 95 years old. When it came to Louise, I often wonder if it drove her insane and made her do the things that she has done. This picture was about 4 months before her and David started dating. She still looks so young to me. She still looks like a baby. David was 6.5 years older than Louise. A lot of people in town thought that the Turpin family was just like God's gift to earth. Like, they were the most Christian as Christian gets. I think she adored him because Louise was looking for a way out.
Elizabeth, come here.
Louise one day had called me. She had hollered my name to come here. And she said, come in, I got a secret to tell you.
I have something I want to tell you, but you have to promise to keep it to yourself.
I was excited. I was always excited when she had a secret to tell me because it made me feel big, you know?
You like David, right?
And she was like, how would you like it if I got married? If I married David and we had a little baby and you could come over and spend the night sometimes and you could hold the baby.
A family? Wow, Louise.
And all this stuff. And she was packing her duffel bag. And then she went on to say, and don't tell anybody I asked you that. Don't say anything to anybody about me packing this duffel bag, because this is our secret. Louise was only 16 years old when she told me all this.
Just remember, though, you promised not to tell anyone.
But I still didn't think of her packing because she was going to leave. I didn't put two and two together. The next day, Louise never showed up. She didn't ride the bus with us home. It clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, she's left with David. This picture was actually taken at the end of the wedding. The police found Louise and David in Texas. When Louise came home, she immediately demanded that they let her get married. Daddy always felt like they would just continue to try to run away and be together. So he felt like it was better just to give them their blessing. So Louise got married at 16, and I think David was 23. I felt so many different emotions that day. I felt like I was losing my best friend and my sister and my protector and everything. My parents got divorced about 6 months after Louise had left. And my dad left the home. That's when the abuse of my grandfather was more focused on me, and I didn't have her to shield me anymore. This is Louise pregnant with her first. Louise always talked about growing up. She was going to have 12 children, and before you knew it, they had 4 kids. At that point in my life, I was in college, and I was fixing to take summer break from college. I didn't want to go home to all the chaos. It just seemed like she was living the dream life. I just plain out asked her, I said, could I stay the summer with you so I don't have to go home? And it was that simple. That was how it all started. I knew that has to be really wrong. The person that used to protect me is now helping bad things happen to me. This is the day that we were leaving for me to go stay with Louise and David for the summer. When I spent the summer with her, it changed everything for me. Within 24 hours from this picture is when I realized that Louise was not someone I wanted to be around.
What are we doing here?
David and I are just gonna go do a little gambling.
When I got in the car and we started heading back to Texas, they stopped at a casino and wanted me to babysit their kids in the car while they go in.
Seriously, you're going in there?
Oh, lighten up. It's just a little harmless fun.
That was very weird to me because growing up, David and Louise would have thought she was going to hell if you went to a casino. I even asked her a couple times, are you joking with me?
We'll be back in a bit.
She said that they didn't go to church anymore and that she had changed a lot. It just got darker and darker. I was scared to open the door. I started wondering, I thought, man, they're taking a long time, and I just made sure the doors were locked. And I fell asleep.
Morning, sunshine.
When they finally came out, it was daylight.
Where have you guys been?
Playing slots?
I was like, you left us in the car all night with the kids. And she kind of laughed it off.
Oh, you're fine.
I was upset, but I didn't show it. Here I am almost to Texas. I have nowhere else to go. I really didn't want to create an issue or an argument, but it was very confusing for me. She was a complete different person than what I thought she was. I felt, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? It was not just cluttered, it was just messy. Like papers all over the floors, dishes in the sink. I just remember thinking, wow, this is awful. I told her, I said, Louise, let's clean the house.
We should pick up a bit. Get this place under control? Yeah, sure. I guess it couldn't hurt.
And so that's what we did. We worked on the house for a few days. Then while she was doing that, I started seeing strange things happening. I didn't really get to know my nieces and nephews because she kept them so isolated. They were in their rooms most of the time.
And just leave her. She'll be fine.
The baby would sit in the playpen all day long. Nobody ever held it, hugged it, and played with it and loved on it. And when I would ask if I could, I was told no.
Don't you think she needs a little attention?
I'm her mom, Elizabeth. I'll take care of it, okay?
Of course. I just wanted to help.
She told me it was because she didn't want my beliefs being rubbed off on them, our childhood beliefs, like about God and stuff. I was like, I'm not going to talk to your children about God. So I knew from that point on, I just tended my own business. And the excuse I made for myself was, look, I'm not a mom, so I have no right to tell her how to be one. And that was what I told myself. And I just left things alone. Me and Louise and David would sit at a table and eat. And the kids were always in their rooms. I thought it was odd.
Where's everyone else?
I remember the first time that happened, I was like, aren't you going to call the kids down to feed them?
Do you guys eat separately or something?
They'll get some. This is just how we do it.
And she was like, yeah, I'll calm down in a few minutes. Like it was no big deal. I feel bad. To me, the kids should be going first.
Okay, we finished up. Come on down for some supper.
Then how it worked was is she would call them down one by one. She'd call the oldest one's name and she would come down. That was very weird to me. I didn't really know how to react to that. And then she waited for permission without asking. She waited for Louise to tell her to take a bite. She could eat now.
Go ahead.
I never saw them do anything without permission. I never heard them talk. Not even the oldest one. It was like they were forbidden to talk.
I love this stuff. Don't you?
I remember asking Louise, do they ever talk? And she goes, yeah, if I tell them to talk to you, they will. It's like everything was controlled. And then when she got done, Louise never asked her, are you full? Do you want more? She would just say, okay, your plate's clean, go back up. And then she would call the next one down. In my heart, I knew something has to be really wrong. It was like they were programmed.
Louise, don't you think you guys are being a little tough on them?
I did ask why, but, she was just like, don't ask about my parenting.
Go ahead.
I had never heard Louise laugh like that before. It was just different. More of an evil laugh. About a week into living with Louise and David, that's when the rules were explained to me.
So listen, if you're gonna start working this summer, there's a couple rules I need you to follow, okay?
She just told me, don't have any friends, don't tell anybody where you live, don't give nobody my address, don't give nobody my phone number. You're not allowed to have phone calls here, and I don't want you dating.
Okay. I don't even know who I would talk to.
You start meeting people, you start running your mouth, and I can't have that.
I don't know if she was afraid I was going to say something about the house or about things I saw. I remember asking her why, like, why can't I tell anybody where we're at or have anybody call me? And she says, we live a very private life, and that's how I want to keep it.
David and I keep to ourselves. We don't like other people in our business, so I'm gonna need you to do the same.
Okay.
But she also wanted me to get a job. So she took me to and from work, and she watched me real closely. And she told me basically that if I didn't obey her rules, there'd be consequences. You won't have a place to live.
You got it? Hey.
Got it.
So I had to respect her rules. I didn't have anywhere else to go. David began to watch me and say some really awful, nasty things like, you know, he shouldn't be saying to his sister-in-law. I was getting into the shower to go to work, and I heard somebody coming in, and I hollered and told him I was in the shower.
Hey, I'm in here.
And the door opened.
Who's that?
And Louise and David walked in.
Are you insane?
I was in total shock. Like, I was like, what are you doing in here? Get out.
Let's get a good look at that body.
He would ask me personal questions about my body, and I wouldn't answer him.
Come on, we're just having a little fun.
Leave me alone.
And then he'd make comments about how good I'd be in bed. And you know what they say about redheads, they're wild.
Come on, I bet you're a demon in the sack, huh?
Stop it.
Come on.
And it would make me real uncomfortable. Louise supported him in the conversations. Louise would be like, yeah, I bet she is good in bed. And I would get upset and start crying.
Stop it. Stop it. I hear you in this. Stop it. Stop.
You just start laughing like an evil laugh, especially Louise. Like, I'll never forget it.
She's a bad girl.
I had never heard Louise laugh like that before. It was just different. More of an evil laugh.
Louise, make it stop.
It took me back to that childhood mode where with Papaw, it was making me feel like I was molested all over again, just in a different way.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I really felt betrayed. The person that used to protect me is now helping bad things happen to me. I knew there was no way for me to get out before the end of the summer, so I thought I would just have to wait. When I would talk to my parents or anyone on the phone, I was not allowed to talk in private. Louise was always sitting right next to me.
How's it going over there? You getting on okay?
My parents were expecting me to go back to school, and Louise was making it impossible for me to go.
Me? I'm good. I like it here.
She wouldn't give me a ride anywhere. And I was young, and I didn't have any way to buy my ticket. She said that, you know, I didn't need to go home, that was my home. And then she's kind of left it off like, I guess you're stuck with me.
She's got the kids and could use some extra help. This is just what I want to do.
I just told my parents that I couldn't come right now, that I'd have to take another semester off.
I'll talk to you soon.
I felt like I was imprisoned almost. I had no way out. I was trapped.
What happened?
It was scary because you're really playing with the devil. My life just went from normal to hell, like within a second. When it was time for me to go back to school, they didn't allow me to leave. It was like I was being held prisoner. But at work, I had met a guy named Jonathan, and we started dating.
Well, I'm really excited to see this movie with you.
I'm excited to go, even though I don't like scary movies.
You'll like this one. Anyway, I'll call you later.
Louise, what are you doing here?
Louise caught me with him because she apparently had stayed in the parking lot to snoop on me, and I don't know how many times she'd done that.
Didn't I tell you the rules? No phone calls. No boyfriends.
I am sorry. I just
No, I told you there'd be consequences.
She was really furious. She was yelling at me.
I'm sorry.
I told you my rules. You disobeyed me.
Why are you yelling at me?
You don't respect me? Give me your keys.
What? Where am I supposed to go?
I don't care, but not home with me. Give me your keys.
She locked me out. She told me I wasn't getting my stuff back. I was left by myself. That really hurt me. I was very shocked that it had come to that. All because I had a boyfriend at 19 years old.
Are you okay? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with her. She just kicked me out.
Hey, we'll figure this out. You can stay with me.
Jonathan went and told his parents, and I went to his house. About 9 months later, I married Jonathan, and we moved about 14 hours away for me to go back to college. I was just so relieved about getting out. I really didn't think about the children at all, like leaving them in that environment or anything. She had 4 when I moved out of her house. But I was young and I just wasn't thinking about anything. Later on, I missed them and I thought about them and prayed for them and I worried about them. But at that time, I never thought Louise was capable of doing to her children what she's done. It was just like, I've got to get out of here. At this time is when they started cutting everybody off. I didn't talk to Louise for a long time. Several years went by. And then by the time I had children, she contacted me. We still had our problems, but we did speak every once in a while, and I did see Louise from time to time. It wasn't the same relationship as it used to be.
It's good to see you, Louise. I can't believe how long it's been.
And one day, it had been about 14 years. She came over, we were talking, and at this time she had 12 children. The kids were very quiet, waited for her to have permission to talk to me. It was a lot like it was in their home.
Hey, how are the kids? Are they doing okay?
Yeah, why?
And I remember thinking that they were skinny, especially the oldest child.
Have they been eating much? They get plenty of food.
When I confronted Louise about the kids being skinny, she tried to play it like it was all hereditary. She said, oh, it's in our genes. Me and you were real skinny.
You just have good genes. What do you want me to say?
I just left it at that.
By the way, I pulled the kids out of school. I'm going to do it myself. You mean you're going to homeschool them?
But when she told me she was going to homeschool, an argument broke out.
Louise, they're not going to get a proper education. That's a terrible idea.
You have to be disciplined. You have to be responsible. You have to put your kids' needs before your own.
Listen, we've already made up our minds. We're actually moving to California. What? California? Why?
Louise had researched out what states they come and check on you, what states you have to turn in work. Because some states, you can homeschool your kid. They never ask to see any of the work. They don't come out and check on the children.
Look, do what you want with your kids. This is what I'm doing with mine.
Now that I'm older and I'm looking back, I realized she didn't want anybody calling CPS. She was going to make sure she was in a place where they did not check up on them.
Come on, kids, we're leaving. Louise.
And it haunts me now. For a long time, I felt like guilty because I didn't say anything, but I really didn't know better at the time. Like I didn't feel like it was that severe that I needed to get authorities involved. This is them with 12 of the children, the 12 oldest children. I got pictures like this all the time. She would send pictures and videos of them at Disneyland. She would put all this stuff on Facebook, make it look like they were having a great time. I thought that they were happy and well-fed. I thought over the years that things had gotten better. But my oldest niece Skyped with me one day.
How you doing, honey?
I'm okay.
By this time, she's like in her upper 20s, but she looks like a 14-year-old kid. But I didn't think of it as being like malnutrition or anything. I just thought that she was just small framed is what I thought.
So what's going on? Anything new?
Nothing new, just the same old stuff.
And she had her hands behind her back and she was just rocking back and forth. And I noticed that Louise was sitting real close to her.
Sorry, Aunt Elizabeth, I've got to go.
Hello?
You could tell that she was scared to answer a lot of the questions. It was just really weird. I remember laying down on the bed beside my husband just to watch some TV. It wasn't even late. And somebody on Facebook, one of my friends said, is Louise Turpin your sister? And before I could even ask why or whatever, I go through my news feed and somebody I didn't even know that I wasn't even friends with sent an article where 13 kids have been starved and beaten and chained. And I thought, that's a sick joke. That's when it all started. I started getting all kinds of Facebook messages asking me if this was my sister. Earlier that day, I got a phone call from a California number that I did not recognize. And they left a voicemail, but I didn't listen to the voicemail right away. I thought it might have been a telemarketer or something. Then I got to thinking, I really should listen to that voicemail. And it was a woman saying, you know, this is Riverside County Jail. It's about your sister. I called the number to the jail. And when they first told me what happened, she said, can you let all the family know because it's hitting national news?
On Sunday, January 14, 2018, just before 6 o'clock in the morning, a 17-year-old girl called 911 from a deactivated cell phone and reported that her siblings were being held against their will.
The story was that they chained and beat and starved their children. One of my nieces got out, climbed out the window, the bedroom window, after Louise and David went to sleep, and ran down the road with an unactivated cell phone that was in the home and called 911 on it.
They say the escape plan had been in the works for 2 years. The teen took one of her siblings with her, but that child got scared and turned back.
She didn't even know how to explain where she was. She didn't even know her own address. The police was able to track her and find her, and then she rode back with the police to the house in the car.
Investigators arrived, finding the rest of them, 13 in total, starving, emaciated, some chained or padlocked to beds.
The deputy that went to the house spoke with me, and he said that Louise and David were in shock because they were asleep when they got there. They had no idea that this 911 call even took place. They were trying to hurry up and get them unchained, but they didn't succeed before the officers got into the home.
One of the children at age 12 is the weight of an average 7-year-old. The 29-year-old female victim weighs 82 pounds. None of the victims were allowed to shower more than once a year. None of the victims have seen a doctor in more than 4 years. None of the victims have ever seen a dentist.
The couple is charged with 12 counts of torture, 7 counts of abuse of a dependent adult, 6 counts of child abuse, and another 12 of false imprisonment.
It's really hard to think that those babies that I held and rocked so many times to sleep and fed bottles were treated like animals.
This is David's mugshot. I remember thinking, he looks like a serial killer or something. My mom used to say, oh, he's a Turpin boy. She couldn't get a better guy than a Turpin boy. That does not look like my sister at all. That's what it looked like when I saw her on TV, and it made me sick, and I busted in tears. To me, she looks evil here. I remember asking my husband, how is she smiling? She looks crazy. I thought, is this really possible? There's no way that Louise could have done that. There's no way. They've blown this way out of proportion. I remember wanting to go to the house to try to convince myself that this is real. And I walked around the house and looked in the windows. And when I looked in the windows, my breath was taken because I saw things. I thought, oh my gosh, Louise is pure evil. It was very, very nasty. And I knew immediately that my sister did a horrendous crime. I needed to see her for myself. I needed to look her in the eyes. And I needed to ask her, what were you thinking? What happened? What went wrong? I remember being a nervous wreck because we hadn't talked in 2 years.
Thanks for coming. It's really great to see you.
And she said that she was sorry.
I didn't mean to be so awful to you.
She said, something went wrong and I wish I could explain it to you, but I've been told to not talk about it. She told me that she loved me and has always loved me, and she knows that's probably hard for me to understand, which it was.
I hope you don't believe everything you read in the news. I know the truth. I was there.
She never came out and said she didn't do it. She never came out and said she did it either. And she says, I'm not who you think I am.
You'll never know who I am unless you give me a chance.
What about your kids? Did they have a chance?
How I took that is she done it, but there was more to the story than what I knew. I think they deserve life. And that's really harsh for me to be a sister and say that. But I think that's appropriate. She deserves everything that she's got coming to her. My hopes for my nieces and nephews is that they will be able to live a normal life eventually and be able to put all this behind them. And I want them to know that I'll always be there. I want them to know that there is family out there that cares and that they are loved and that not all of us are like their parents. This picture is actually Louise holding me when I was about 1.5 years old. You can see her arms around me like I was her baby and kissing my cheek. It was the greatest moment in the world to me. Why did she protect me so much, but she didn't protect her own children? I just don't understand. But I still love Louise. I mean, nothing ever changes the fact that she's my sister, no matter what she's done. People don't understand. How can you get on camera and say that you still love your sister? They see who Louise is today and what she's done. That's all they know. But I've known Louise all my life. And I know who she was before. We really don't know why she's changed so much. I guess my biggest regret is not reporting what I saw when I lived there. You never think that somebody close to you could do something like that, but anybody's capable of being evil. You know, so much could have been prevented if I would have spoke out a long time ago.
You know, the haunting of John's crimes, that'll never go away. It's a part of my life. As much as I tried to forget it, it took me a long time to heal. For 30 years, I never spoke about it. And now I think it's time. There's so much to still tell and a lot of truths to come out that have never been spoken. There was a lot of people that didn't even know that. I had a brother, and they didn't even know that he was John Wayne Gacy.
Investigators have started to dismantle Gacy's house and garage as they continue to search for other bodies in this quiet suburban neighborhood.
How can you do that? How can any human being do that? A lot of people say, how could you still have loved him? It's because I didn't know.
There was evil there that was hidden in a side that he never showed. I would have never expected the boy in this picture to have done what he did 15 years later. I would have never expected it. You know, John and I had a unique childhood. Mom always had John watch out for me, being the youngest, so he always had to take me everywhere. I was like his sidekick. I was like the tag-along sister. I called him my protector because he was always there kind of watching over me. As we got older as teenagers, we bonded and we were friends as well as brother and sister. But I've never seen the killer part of him that did what he did. All I remember is how he was growing up. Why did he set his mind into killing? John wasn't like the other boys in the neighborhood. They were into football in the winter and baseball and all the different sports types things. He liked to plant flowers. He liked to sing. I don't know very many of the boys in the neighborhood that would get in the kitchen and make grilled cheese sandwiches and try to bake cookies. It kind of made my dad upset because he wanted him to be a manly man, and he thought my brother was not a manly man. Dad would come home from work.
Good Lord. What are you doing, boy?
Sorry to bake us a pie. If John was baking or cooking or planting marigolds, then the razor strap came out.
Come here, boy.
Come on, he is just trying to
Don't
please you.
stick up for him. I said, come here.
It was scary because if he was drunk, we never knew how hard that beating was going to be.
What?
But John didn't go to defend himself at all. It's like he was like a punching bag.
Oh.
He didn't fight back. He didn't try to fight off the spanking. He just took it.
Next, you ought to go outside, play some football.
He always went up to his room and closed the door. What he was doing, I have no idea, but he wouldn't talk to anybody afterwards. This is a picture of a fishing trip that John went on with my dad. And I see the look on John's face, the scowl. I saw that look a lot at the table in the kitchen. When he was getting yelled at, he would just make that face and just kind of look down. John would pay me to clean his room because he didn't like changing sheets and stuff. So I would clean his room, dust and whatever, and then he'd give me like a little allowance for doing it. And I went in there to do that, and I noticed kind of a silky colored material in his bed, and when I pulled the sheets back, it ended up being underpants. Ladies' silk underwear. It was just kind of mystified me that he had pants in his bedroom that were women's.
Mom?
What is it, honey?
I found these.
When your brother was young, she said he used to like silk panties. And he used to take the silk panties and rub them with his fingers. He just liked the feel of the silk. And I said, that's just a strange thing. Why would he take them and hide underwear?
You've got to promise me, really promise me, okay, that you're not going to talk to your father about this.
I promise.
She said, keep it to yourself. She said, I'll handle it.
I will get rid of these.
John and my mom had a very, very close relationship. She went to talk to him about it. I did not know what she said to him, but John wasn't real happy with me that I went to Mom with it. He said I should have come to him with it. He was very upset with me. In the weeks to follow, when I changed bedding, there was no more pants to be found. So whatever it was ended. John and Dad had had an argument And one day, John didn't come home. He'd gone off to work, and he never showed back. And it was real shocking that after 3 days, they couldn't find him.
What are you so worked up about, Marion?
You could have a little empathy here. You know, he's your son too.
I was scared because that's not like John. John was usually pretty much like clockwork. As days went on, I became more concerned because I wondered if he was dead. He was actually ended up gone for almost 3 months, and they found him in Las Vegas, working in a mortuary. I believe that he stayed another couple of months before he came back home. It was a different John. It was totally a different John. He wasn't the brother I grew up with.
Well, I couldn't stomach that myself. You didn't have a hard time with it at all?
No, it was just a job.
We asked him about the mortuary work, and he started telling Mom and I what he did, and it just kind of creeped me out. He was telling us stories about, the dead bodies and whatever, and it was like, whoa.
But surely you didn't have to touch the bodies and all, did you?
We're all gonna die someday.
He did the cleanup of the room that they worked in. To think of John out there in Vegas cleaning up and seeing all these dead people and it not fazing him at all was really a bizarre thing. But he said it never bothered him at all.
Anyway, we're really happy you're home, John.
When he came back from Vegas, it's like he wanted a different life, and he didn't share as many things with me as he had before. Before, we went a lot of places together. He no longer invited me to go eat, have a pizza. We just kind of parted until we both got married. We were friends, but it was different. It was just totally different. It wasn't the same relationship.
Hey, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
John, can you just calm down?
And it wasn't like he was just angry and yelling. He was trying to hit him. He was acting like a crazy man. Over the years, and it seemed like the older he started getting, I think whatever was transpiring when he was younger, I think was transforming as he got older. You take these and you look at that and you see how sad his face is. The face told it all the time with him. My uncle needed to move. And so I got my husband-to-be and my brother to help get the heavy stuff moved.
So after the wedding, you're just gonna what? Have kids, get old, wait for your days to run out?
John was kind of kidding us about getting married, and Ron made a crack about my mom.
Come on, you think Karen will let that happen?
Yeah, well.
She's no pushover like your mother, John.
John took offense to it, and he blew up.
What'd you just say about my mom?
I just said that.
No, I heard what you said.
John said something about, don't say that about my mother.
Come on, John, he was kidding.
I don't care what he was trying to do. He doesn't get to talk about mom that way.
Okay, take it easy.
You want me to take it easy?
John!
And a fight ensued.
Hey, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
John, can you just calm down?
You say one word about my mother and I'll slap you.
He was swearing. He was acting like a crazy man. It wasn't like he was just angry and yelling. He was trying to hit him.
Hey, what's wrong with me?
That wasn't John. John didn't hit people.
You learn about my mother and I'll slap you on.
He started pounding on the car and beating on the roof and on the window of the car. I don't know what's wrong with you. I said, I don't know why you're acting this way. It was crazy. And Ron slowly moved away because I told Ron, just move. He's away from the car. Move. Just get out of here. For a couple of days, we didn't even speak. He goes to work at Nunbush Shoes. And he's there for a couple of years. And then he meets Marlon. Marlon is his first wife. Him and Marlon had a little boy. And about 2 years later, I think they had a little girl. And they moved into Iowa. John, you could tell that he was settled. He was happy. I believe he really loved her. And he was proud to be a father. He was loving. It was just a new chapter for John. He was just a different person. I get a phone call from my mom one day, and she tells me that my brother's been arrested in Iowa, and he's in jail. And accused of sodomy of 2 boys. The judge said because of the age of the victims, he was going to send out a message that wasn't going to be tolerated. And he sentenced him, I believe, to 10 years in prison. We didn't get to talk to him until after the trial was over.
Look, I know this looks bad. Okay, I was only doing my duties as a member.
What do you mean, duties?
Well, I mean...
He told the whole family it was a political thing. John joined the JC chapter. I believe it's the Junior Chamber of Commerce. And he was explaining to us that the job was to bring men into the JCs. He was the recruitment person. And one of the things they did was they'd have these parties with booze and pornographic movies.
So what about the other members? Why won't they speak up?
It's politics. And these guys just don't want to go down with me.
He never admitted and owned up to the sodomy.
But what about these charges, John?
He had showed the boys the movie, but all the other stuff didn't happen.
Mom, I can't believe you're buying any of this garbage.
He said, I'm not a homosexual. He was very convincing. When he talked about something, he could convince you. There's just something about him that he was very believable.
Don't worry, John. We're going to do everything in our power to get you out. Okay, son?
There were strings pulled. It was John reinventing himself again. He was a leader, and I'm really believing that that's why they paroled him so early.
This one is Pogo. This is my uncle in full clown dress. You know, it used to be a good memory. Now, it makes me wonder, what's he hiding behind the makeup?
The first time that I actually did get to see my uncle in his clown costume, it was for the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Chicago.
Hiya, kids! My name's Pogo, the silly dancing clown.
He was at a function afterwards. He was all in full attire, clown makeup, everything like that. And he was smiling, and he made a good clown.
You silly kid.
He seemed happy, and he was waving at people, still giving candy.
Do you kids want a balloon?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just... Uh-oh.
It was the first time we'd seen him in his makeup, and you couldn't even recognize him. I never really put a lot of thought as it being like an evil thing. It was just something that made him happy.
Smile for the camera, Pogo.
Now it's like, what were you trying to hide?
He was like trying to be a normal part of society, but really had another life going on.
I will never understand why people focus on a clown as being a bad thing. I do know there's people that are afraid of clowns for some reason. And I guess knowing that he had been convicted of sodomy, they tried to look at him as dressing up maybe to fool children. I saw him with my own children, with his children, my sister's children. I never saw him do anything sinister. Everybody wants to put something cynical about it. And I saw nothing cynical. John really did love kids. The first time I saw the house that John and Mom moved into, my first reaction was the smell. There was a smell as you walked in the house and through the house. Just had this old, musty smell.
What is that awful smell?
I'm not sure. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's making me nauseous. How can you stand it?
The house wasn't built on a slab. It was dirt underneath it. And if you don't cover that, it smells. My mom didn't have any clue that it had a smell.
John, have you tried to figure out where the stench is coming from?
Oh, that. Yeah, I looked into that.
When I asked him about the smell, he said it was coming from the earth underneath. There was a crawl space under the house. Very small opening to get down. And there was a ladder that went down. Wasn't very deep. That was just where the odor was coming from.
I learned the first time it rained that this ground gets wet under there and the crawl space puts out a musty odor. There was always a musty odor in that house.
And this just clicked when I heard his statement. I remember him saying in Cook County Jail, I should have cemented the crawl space. I don't know why I didn't cement the crawl space. And I looked at him and I said, what would that have solved? And he didn't answer me. He started a painting and decorating business. Later, it went into construction and he started hiring young men to work for him. I noticed the difference in him. He's glassy-eyed. He popped pills. He was shorter in temper.
This isn't healthy, John. You're killing yourself.
He was complaining about the long hours, and if you want it done right, you've got to do it yourself.
You aren't helping yourself by hiring these boys.
They're not boys. They are young men.
I said, why don't you hire adults? Why are you hiring kids? I said, and they're not dependable. Why do you hire kids? He said, because they work for cheaper labor. I said, you really need to hire older people. And he said, I'll run my business the way I want to run my business.
Well, I'm sure there are other ways.
Look, why don't you just mind your own business, Karen? Huh?
And then there was a couple of strange incidents that had happened. There was a couple of boys that ended up gone missing. And they were two people that actually worked for him. Sometimes he's out till 2, 3 in the morning. You wonder, what was he doing till 3 o'clock in the morning? Well, John had got a new car, but on the driver's side, there was one of these hand lights that I know that I've seen on police cars. And I said, what's that for? And he said, well, I have to use it sometimes when I'm out in the neighborhood to shine up on the house to see the addresses. I thought that was odd because most time people go to work during the daytime. I learned later that he was using it to pretend that he was a police officer, that supposedly he even had a badge to kind of lure a prospect to his car. I didn't at the time tie this together at all. It didn't make sense to me, but John sometimes didn't make sense with some of the things he did. So I just, I just blew it off. Time was running short. I get the phone call, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I know when the phone rings at that time, it cannot be good news.
John?
He said, there are some police at my door. They want to talk to me.
That was Christmas, And I want to say that was at my Uncle John's house. And that was definitely a happy memory. Memories like this, those are the memories I choose to hang on to. Before I knew what he turned into.
The weekend of Thanksgiving when John was there was a sense of urgency in everything he was doing. He wasn't agitated, but it was like he had a sense of time was running short.
John, you really didn't have to do this, you know?
I know. I really wanted to. I love you guys.
He wanted to buy things for me, wanted to buy things for the kids when he was kind of insistent. And so we had a great time shopping, but you could tell there was something on his mind. He was charging everything and wasn't paying cash. I didn't know what was going on with him.
You sure everything's okay?
Karen, everything is fine.
You sure?
And I tried to get him to, how's things going, the business going well, stuff like that. But he didn't open up to anything at all.
Here. I gotta take off anyway. We'll talk soon, yeah?
And when he got ready to leave, he really squeezed and hugged me.
I love you guys. Don't you ever forget that, okay?
Usually John would just give me a kiss and leave, but this time he gave me a hug and he kind of held on a little bit longer, not just a peck and out the door, I didn't understand where this was coming from. I was just concerned that something wasn't right. Now I know why he did it. I think that he knew that someone was catching on. In December 1978, John called, and when he was talking to us on the phone, there was somebody at the door. And he said, there are some police at my door. They want to talk to me. There was a kid at the drugstore that went missing one day when I had been in the drugstore, so they're questioning everybody that was in the drugstore that day.
That's awful. Did you happen to see him or something?
I said, is there something going on, something we need to talk about or anything? And he said, no, don't worry about it.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
He was trying to blow it off, but at the same time, when John did something wrong or something wasn't right, I could tell in the tone of his voice.
Just let me know if you need anything.
That really worried me. That was the first time I think I got very, very concerned. A couple of days later, I get the phone call, 2:00 in the morning. And I know when the phone rings at that time, it cannot be good news. And it was a strange voice on the phone, one I didn't recognize. And he said, I'm your brother's lawyer. John has been arrested.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Suspicion of murder. I was silent at first. I said, can I talk with John? And he said, let me see if they'll let you talk to him. So he did get the phone.
John, what are they talking about?
I said, did you kill somebody? And he said, yes. I've probably seen this picture a couple of times in the newspaper when they first booked him. And I can tell you that I hated this picture. And do you know why? Not because he's arrested on here and he's being booked in, because he's smiling. How can somebody have just been arrested for the murder of some missing boy? You can see he's laughing. How could you, as a human being, look at that and not hate him? I don't want to look at it. I don't have one of these anymore because I did tear the one I had up. So, oh, that's upsetting.
Oh, I just might need a second.
Each day it got worse and worse and worse. And we started dreading even turning on the news. And then they're talking about there could be more.
Mom?
I didn't want to live anymore. So I took a bottle of pills and took them all.
This morning, police searched Gacy's home and found the decomposed remains of 3 bodies, dirt crawl space under the house. They suspect there are several more bodies buried here.
It's creepy that we might have been in that house and there had been bodies buried under it. My first reaction was, did Mom and him buy a house that somebody buried bodies under? That was my very first reaction. Each day it got worse and worse and worse because they weren't finished with their investigation.
Police today found 6 more bodies under the John Gacy house. The 6 bodies bring the total found under this house and garage to 15, all appearing to have been teenaged boys and young men.
That's when our life changed. All the lives that he took, all the families he took their siblings or their sons away. We saw one side of him, and it wasn't that side of him.
The police have found, at last count, 27 bodies buried under his house and garage, and 2 more in a nearby river.
How can somebody do so well? Grew up with. We were born from the same mother, had the same father, and then do all of what he did. I asked that myself that so many times, and there's not an answer. There's not an answer.
When they paint the image that I was this monster who picked up like these altar boys along the street and swatted them like flies, I said, this is ludicrous.
I said, what do you mean you didn't do all this? How did all those bodies get under the house if you didn't do it? He said, I can show you who I knew. And he started pointing with his finger. These are the pictures that he was pointing to, and he literally pointed to faces in the newspaper saying, I didn't know this person, I didn't know that person, so how could I have killed them?
I have no knowledge of the crime whatsoever. Never have had. Go ahead and kill me, but you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
How could he act so innocent, like he didn't do anything? Is that a mental problem? He's too sane for it to be a mental problem. How can you be insane 33 times? There was nothing insane about him. It was like a nightmare, just a total nightmare. We started getting phone calls, people threatening to harm our children, like in retaliation for what John had done. We couldn't let our kids go to school. We couldn't even go to work. We just couldn't face people day after day. And it's like, it's never ending. I kept thinking about the families, the family members of these boys. I can't explain the desperation, the hurt, the shame. You feel that you just can't go any further. It's sort of like going on a hill and you just know you just need to drop off. I didn't want to live anymore. So I took a bottle of pills and took them all.
It was a little after midnight, and I happened to get up because my son, he needed a bottle, and I went out to the kitchen.
Mom, what's wrong? Mom?
And my mother was leaning over the sink, and she had taken a bottle of pills.
Mom, what'd you do? Oh my God.
I was yelling at her. I was like, how many of these did you take? And she couldn't answer me. And she just kept saying, I just want to die. Just let me die. The only thing I knew to do was to call my dad. He took her to the emergency room, and they pumped her stomach.
It's not a time in my life that I am very proud of because I feel like I failed my children. If I had ended my life, what would have happened to them? I just couldn't take anymore. A lot of people ask me about the death sentence and what I feel about it. And when it came to John and his sentence, I think it more than fit the crime. It was like it wasn't even a shock to me. It was like, okay, yeah, I knew that. I wasn't even upset over it. We spent about an hour or so visiting John. He really didn't talk too much about the execution. He talked about it, what his last meal was going to be, what he was going to eat. This picture is of John and I, and you can see how he takes his handcuffs and kind of goes around me. And while it wasn't a happy time, we both were smiling, and I think it was out of love for one another. It's like you're not thinking about the crime. You're just thinking about he's going to die. And I was just trying to make his last hours more meaningful for him. Still trying to be the dutiful sister. It was killing me. I just said, I love you. Know that. And I did love him. I hated what he did. But I loved him as a brother. But I didn't love him as a brother that killed. I loved him as the brother that protected me all the way through my life until he did what he did. And that was it. I never heard or talked to him or saw him again.
John Wayne Gacy, it's time for you to die!
When we walked from the death house, they were setting up some tents and stuff in almost the front yard of the prison. That was really horrible because they're shouting out the windows at you.
Kill that clown! Kill that clown! Kill that clown!
I think that was probably worse than being there with John saying goodbye.
Good morning. John Wayne Gacy was pronounced dead at 12:58 a.m. His last words were, in essence, that taking his life would not compensate for the loss of the others. And he basically said that he saw this as the state murdering him, and he didn't think that would serve justice.
I'd never heard that. I don't remember hearing that at all. It makes me feel angry that he made that kind of statement. I mean, that blows me away. What about serving the families that he crushed? I don't know why he didn't say something about the families. I thought that's what he had said. It makes me ashamed of him, really. Not that how much more shameful can I get? I thought he made his peace with God, and it makes me know that he didn't make his peace with God because he wouldn't have said something like that. When I see this picture of John and my dad and his little son, I wish I could turn the clock back to that time. I could almost cry when I look at this picture. John looked content. He looked like a family man, but John was a master manipulator. There's no doubt in my mind about that. He acted just as normal as anyone sitting in this room, which is scary because it shows you never know anybody. You think you do, but you really don't.